Thousands of developers around the world use the terminal command line as an interface for the Git version control system. For many years, I've been working with Git like most of the developers by using the commands like git add dot, which adds all the files to the staging area, or by copy pasting individual file paths that I want to stage for the next commit. Little did I know that combining Git with Bash and FZF will skyrocket my Git command line productivity. Now I can do this to stage my files. Gadd, enter, select the files, and boom, they get added to the staging area. Say goodbye to the tedious copy pasting of lengthy file paths. If you too absolutely love the terminal and wish to boost your Git productivity, you are at the right place. Here's a quick run through of all the video contents. We'll first have a look at what gadd does and its most common usage. We'll also talk about what custom operations gadd brings to the table. Then I'll walk you through the steps to try gadd temporarily on your system without having to install the tool. After which, we'll dive deep into the hands-on implementation of gadd command from scratch. Hopefully, it will give you good insights about automating tasks in general. If you'd like to enable gadd permanently on your system, we'll then go through the quick installation steps. Also, I have a small challenge towards the end for those who want to learn by doing. The timestamps of these sections are mentioned in the video description and also on the video timeline, so feel free to fast track to the destinations of your liking. So what does gadd do? It adds the changes present in the working tree to the staging area, and the stage changes are included in the next commit. There are also ways to include a part of the changes applied to a file, but that's something that I'll be covering in a future video. Let's look at the most common usage of git add. You can add all the changes of the working tree with git add dot, or by providing the file paths in a space separated manner, you can selectively include them in the next commit. Almost every time after executing git add, I do git status to cross-check the result of the operation. Wouldn't it be wonderful if the status check was automated? We all know how tedious it is to copy-paste lengthy file paths individually, and it creates a mess on the terminal. Let's see how gadd tackles these problems. Gadd dot not only stages all the files, but conveniently displays the status after. Gadd enter lists the modified and untracked files, if any, which can be quickly selected or unselected using the tab key. You'll never copy paste a lengthy file path again. I'm sure you find gadd as convenient and intuitive as I do, but what's the fun in just watching it work when you can try it for yourself on your system? Let me show step by step how you can temporarily enable gadd on your terminal in a few seconds. Head over to custom-git.io in your browser, click try without installation, and copy the if condition that says custom-git.io/try. Note that at the time of making this video, custom-git only supports bash and zsh shells. Now paste the if condition on your terminal. It will ask for permission to install the fuzzy finder. Enter Y. After FZF gets installed, restart your session to activate the installed fuzzy finder. You'll notice that gadd is not found, but after running the if condition again, gadd will be enabled for that terminal session only. Before we head into creating gadd brick by brick, do take a few seconds to pause the video and get a feel of gadd on your terminal. Okay, great. The next session is made for all the curious coders out there who are eager to find out how gadd was made. Hopefully, it will give you helpful insights on how to automate operations on the terminal with bash scripting. What I recommend is that you may watch it once fast to absorb the entire process, like 1.5 to even 2 times the speed, and then watch again slower at the normal speed and pause periodically to follow along. So without further ado, let's get coding. I'll use Visual Studio Code for the implementation, and I've taken the liberty to create a GitHub repository named custom-git bash. Let's create a directory cmd which will hold all the customized commands like gadd. First, we'll add the shebang which is used to direct your system on which interpreter to use, bash in this case. Then let's just print hello world to check if our terminal recognizes the gadd command. Let's see. Gadd is not found. This is because we need to tell the terminal where to look for gadd. Right now, the path environment variable doesn't have gadd's location. We'll append gadd's location to it. The not found error is gone. But there's another error. Gadd doesn't have the required permission to run. Let's see what permissions it has currently. Right now it has 644 permissions, which means that the user has read and write permission, and the group and others have only read permission. What we need is 744, which will also give the execute permission to the user. Let's try gadd again. Yes, it works now. But after restarting the session, the gadd's path will be lost from the path variable again. So we have to make it permanent for every session. For that, let's create a file called .custom-git.zsh or .custom-git.bash for bash shells. And we'll update the path variable inside this file. Save it. Next, we have to make sure this file gets sourced during session initialization. For zsh shells, .zshrc is run whenever a new session starts. For bash shells, .bashrc is run, and if you're using the bash shell on macOS, .bash_profile is run during initialization. So we'll append the source.custom-git.zsh statement in .zshrc. Let's check. Yes, it is there. Tail command prints the last 10 lines of a file. Now let's refresh the session and check the path variable. Gadd's path is present here, and it works. Great. Now let me remove hello world and create the main function and make a call to it such that the first function being called is always the main function. Our first goal is to handle the command line arguments in the same way as git add. $# provides the number of command line arguments. If it is greater than 0, we must pass them straight to git add and return. $* denotes all the command line arguments. We also do git status after the operation. Let's test this. Gadd dot. Yeah, it works. Great. Moving ahead, let me restore the staged files. Now I need to figure out a way to fetch the untracked and modified files. Git status short lists all the changes in a compact manner. Let me stage a file and then check the status. Notice that modified files have a space in the beginning, the untracked files have a question mark, and the staged file has a character in the beginning. So if I grep a space and question mark from the beginning, I'll get all the untracked and modified files. Now I need to remove the unwanted characters from the beginning, which can be done using the sed utility tool. S stands for substitution, dot matches any character, and 3 dots will match the first 3 characters, which will be substituted with an empty string. And we get the clean file paths. Now sdf will help to display these paths as a list, and we use -m to enable multiple selections from the list. The only thing remaining is to somehow run git add command on each of these paths, which is exactly what xargs does. It runs the command following it on each of the elements of the list. Let's see if this is working. Yes, the selected files got staged. Now let me copy the command and paste it in gadd and do git status before exiting. Let's test this. Run gadd, select the files, enter. It works. The next thing that I want to point out is that if there are no files to be staged, like in this case, gadd will show an empty list, which doesn't look good. So we should check the number of unstaged files by using the same grep statement with -c flag. -c flag counts the number of matching lines. Then if the number of unstaged files is 0, we should print an info message, do git status, and return. Oh, the hat is missing in the grep statement. Let me correct that. And actually, I should print this info message after git status. Now let's check it. It prints no unstaged files instead of showing an empty list. Great. Let me restore these staged files and stage some of them using gadd. After gadd finishes, this area has stale information. I want it to be cleared. So I'll clear the screen before exiting. Here and here as well. Let's see how it looks. gadd dot. Much cleaner than before. Restore the staged files. Stage some of them, and this also cleared the screen before git status. Nice. How about I combine these two statements into one command called gstatus. That way I don't have to remember to put clear every time before git status. I'll use gstatus in place of these two statements. Let's see if it works. Oh, gstatus needs the execute permission as well. Let's give it the same permission as gadd, that is 744, and now it works. Restore the staged files, and instead of git status, do gstatus. It gives such a neat effect of refreshing the status. Now the only thing remaining to do is get this list to print from top to bottom instead of like this. Let's look at the man page of FZF. It consists of tons of configurable options. What we're interested in is the reverse and the border flag. Let's try it with FZF. The list gets printed from the top with a border. A height of 80% would be more appropriate. Oh, let me correct the spelling of height there. Yes, it looks much better. If we set these options in the FZF default ops environment variable, FZF will apply them for you by default. Let's copy this and put it in .custom-git.zsh that we had created earlier. Restart the session. Yes, gadd shows the list from the top with a border as expected. The final cherry on the cake would be to display the list elements in the same color as they get displayed in git status. It can be done using the color flag of FZF. FG stands for foreground text. 160 is the 8-bit color code for red. Now let's check it. The files are displayed in red, indicating untracked and modified files. But it would be better if I could see which files are untracked and which ones are modified. So the substitution of the 3 initial characters should happen after the FZF selection. Let's see if it works. Restore all the stage files, gstatus, gadd. Now I can see the characters defining the state of the files: modified, deleted, and untracked. The GitHub link of the custom-git bash repo can be found in the video description. If you would like to enable custom-git permanently on your system, installation is as easy as trying the commands. Head over to custom-git.io and this time copy the if condition that says custom-git.io/install. Now paste it on your terminal. If FZF is already installed on your system, this prompt will not be shown to you. If you're working on Linux or Windows, restart your shell and custom-git will be fired up. But if you're working on macOS and using the bash shell, there is one more step to do for completing the installation. As I had mentioned earlier, for bash shells on macOS, .bash profile is run during shell startup instead of .bashrc. So in order for custom-git to work, we need to source .bashrc from .bash profile. So we'll open .bash profile and source .bashrc from it. And that's it. Now restart the session to activate custom-git, and gadd can be used thereafter. In the next video, we'll have a look at the git restore and git restore -- staged commands. We'll see what they are used for and how we can customize them so that they are more convenient and intuitive to use. If you're up for it, I'll leave you with a small challenge to be completed before the next video. Fork the custom-git bash repo, whose link is present in the video description. With what we learned today, write your own customizations for git restore command in bash and submit a pull request. If I like your customization a lot, I will make sure to feature it in the next video. Don't forget to leave your thoughts on gadd in the comment section. I'd love to know how you felt about it, and also mention your ideas about which other git commands I should customize next. YouTube videos really thrive on your likes, so hit that like button and help the YouTube algorithm to show it to others. Also, make sure to subscribe to the custom-git channel and push the bell icon so that you can immediately catch the next video. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video.